Hello, good morning, and welcome to This Date in History, also known as TDH. This show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, Historical Calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources, music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar in the description below. Anyway, I am Aozander, and I will be joined momentarily by Meat Cleaver. Today is Saturn's Day, also known as Saturday, August 13th, 2022. So what happened on this date, you may ask? Well, starting us off in the year 1415, King Henry V of England landed his army at the mouth of the Seine River in France. Don't pay attention to the crazy old guy in the background. So,
the Cleaver is here.
yes.
I'm Meat Cleaver.
Yep. 1521, Spanish conquistadors under Hernan Cortez captured Aztec Emperor Cuauhtémoc in Tenochtitlan, marking the end of the Aztec Empire.
Good try.
Dang. Yeah. Yeah, it's the end of the Aztecs. So.
Yeah.
Just a few years later, in 1553, Spanish theologian and physician Michel Servetus was arrested as a heretic in Geneva. He was put on trial the next day, eventually found guilty of heresy and burned to death.
Ugh.
Damn.
He didn't mess around.
No.
Heresy.
1608, John Smith's Story of Jamestown's first days were submitted to publication, or for publication.
You don't hear much about John Smith, do you?
Yeah, and he does not look like the John Smith from the cartoon movie,
I didn't see the cartoon movie.
Like, he was this guy in his, mid-late 20s, flowing, beautiful, gorgeous blonde hair,
of course.
pretty boy,
Yeah.
no beard, no mustache, this guy. Plus, the real John Smith was, some guy in his, mid to late 30s,
Yeah.
beer-bellied, disheveled, what we see here. And the real Pocahontas was 13 years old, and they did have relations, and that's really disgusting.
She was 13 years old.
Somewhere, I think maybe 9, I don't know, maybe.
What?
Yeah, actually, let's see here. How old was Pocahontas? 10-year-old. Pocahontas was an extremely talented and lively 10-year-old girl when Jamestown was founded in 1607.
Wow. I mean, when you said 13 was different back then than 13 is today. But 10? I don't know what 10 was back then, but that seems awfully young.
Yeah, that's just, between a 10-year-old and a 35-year-old, however John Smith was old, Anyway, jumping on up into 1624, Cardinal Richelieu was appointed Chief Minister of France by Louis the 13th. All right. 6 years later, 1630, Ferdinand II was dismissed as Supreme Commander, he dismissed Supreme Commander Albrecht von Wallenstein. Yeah, they really got to start writing these things in past tense.
Yeah.
Because, in present tense, it can mean, he was dismissed, or he was dismissed, or he dismissed that guy, or he was dismissed by, the English language is annoying sometimes. So he dismissed that guy.
He was fired.
Yeah. 12 years later, 1642, Dutch astronomer Christian Huygens discovered Mars' southern polar cap. Wow.
1642. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you can see things,
Well, he must have had a telescope of some sort.
Of course.
You're not going to see that with your naked eye.
No.
But that's a pretty strong telescope to pick up a polar cap.
Yeah, well, maybe just just see something glowing and it's white. It's oh, maybe that's a polar cap,
Yeah, well, whatever, but to see it at all.
And that guy has no hat, but he does have the poof.
Yeah, no question there. Major poof.
1695, bombardment of Brussels began by French army of Louis the 14th. The Grand Palace and much of the city was destroyed during the 9 Years' War. Dang. Then, moving on up into 1704, during the Battle of Blenheim, the Second Battle of Hallstatt, a combined British, German, and Dutch army led by John Churchill, 1st Duke of Marlborough, decisively beat the French and Bavarians. I wonder if John Churchill had anything to do with Winston Churchill. You know, like the whole royal family and all that stuff.
Churchill was never part of the royal family. He was all political.
Well, I mean, like, you know, within, you know, the politics and all that stuff. John Churchill. There we go. First Duke of Marlborough. So, let's see here. More grandchildren. John Marlborough. Winston Churchill. Let's see here. Seventh Duke was the paternal grandfather of the British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill.
Oh, there you go. Great pull. Hey, good one.
Well, I mean, you know, when you talk about anything of power, especially within, you know, the British nobility, you know, be it, you know, politicians or royalty or whatever, you know, once the names are in there, it becomes, you know, like a legacy, you know, like, once you're in, you know, like how, you know, the whole Bush, you know, Clinton era, like, you know.
Well, they split class just by language. You could not get up into another class if you talked in the wrong dialect.
That is true. Welcome, Scott, to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
Doing all right. We were just going off about, you know, this guy, what was his name? John Churchill, the first Duke of Marlborough, you know, in 1704. Like, we just read an article here. And he is related to Winston Churchill, you know, the British Prime Minister during World War II.
It's his grandfather? It's got to be older than that.
The seventh Duke was the paternal grandfather
of
the British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill.
Maybe a great-grandfather.
I wouldn't have known that. That's interesting.
No. He was born in 1874.
Well, 100 years.
Now, wait a minute.
Something's wrong.
So they come from a pretty big lineage then. Long lineage of people.
John Churchill, first Duke of Marlborough. Well, actually, that would make sense
that's
because
when he was born, 1704.
No.
No, that's when he was baby. Yeah.
No, Winston Churchill was born on November 30th, 1874.
That's 170 years.
Yeah.
How do you get a grandfather that's 170 years old?
No.
You can't.
I don't know. That's what it's saying.
Yeah, I know what it's saying.
Huh. Well, that's a subject that needs to be looked upon more thoroughly.
I think the headline should be 170-year-old grandparent of Winston Churchill.
British Prime Minister Sir Winston Churchill. How is Winston Churchill related to Duke of Marlborough? Seventh Duke. This was the seventh Duke. This was the first Duke. So he's related to the seventh Duke. This guy is the first Duke.
Okay, so he was 7 later. Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay.
First Duke of Marlborough and Winston Churchill.
You're still on the lineage there.
So yeah, but, like, you know, so it looks like the Duke of Marlborough's, you know, was passed down within the Churchill, you know, lineage.
Yeah.
So
that was 7 Dukes later. Okay. That makes sense.
All right. Well, we figured it out. Anyway, Scott, why don't you take on 1732?
Yeah, I got it. All right. 1732, Voltaire's tragic play Zaire premieres in Paris. I'm saying that right.
Zaire, maybe? I don't know.
Paris.
And then?
No, he was a philosopher, apparently.
Huh. Enlightenment philosopher, Voltaire. What else happened?
Sounds like a Harry Potter character or something. Okay.
Yeah.
1792, revolutionaries imprison French royals, including Marie Antoinette.
We know what's going to happen next.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
The next one?
Yeah.
1876, the Bayreuth Festspielhaus.
Good luck.
Festspielhaus opens with the first complete performance of Richard Wagner's Ring Cycle.
Interesting. What is that? Richard Wagner's
play, obviously.
Composer. So let's see here. Richard Wagner's Ring Cycle. Der Ring des Nibelungen is a cycled tour of 4 German-language epic music dramas composed by Richard Wagner. The works are based loosely on characters from the Germanic heroic legend, namely Norse legendary sagas, and the Nibel Ungelein. So,
Okay, that cleared that up.
yeah. Well, it is like some kind of play.
Yeah.
Moving on up in 1886, John A. MacDonald used a silver hammer to pound a gold spike, officially completing the Esquimalt and Nanaimo Railway in British Columbia. Alright.
Somehow the way that started to be worded, I just got him planting a gold spike in somebody's head.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know. It's sick.
Why is
It's
that?
sick.
I was thinking...
You're rubbing off on me. That's what's wrong with
in a
me.
bad way. 1898, U.S. forces under Admiral George Dewey captured Manila during Spanish-American War. Didn't we, win that war yesterday? Like, the declaration thing was signed?
Like that, I don't know.
Or maybe that was the other day. I don't know. Anyway, and then 1906, black soldiers accused of raid Brownsville, Texas. Oh, they were accused of the raid there. Despite support from local commanding officers, President Theodore Roosevelt ordered dishonorable discharge of 167 soldiers. All were cleared of wrongdoing in 1972, 165 posthumously. Wow.
1972?
Took long enough.
Wow.
Took long enough, yeah.
Jeez.
That's just awful.
They had to live their whole life with that following them, like, basically.
Probably some of them took it to their grave.
Theodore Roosevelt, man, why, dude? Like, I thought he was a good guy. That's not cool. That's not cash money right there.
Well, I guess their evidence, whatever they looked into, wasn't extensive enough until later. I have no idea.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Scott, you get this next one. This guy with the very boyish young lad haircut. Like, what the hell is he doing with that? He looks like a loopy.
Cy Young.
Before I read it, Cy Young is the award the pitcher gets for being the best pitcher of the year. That's a Cy Young award.
Yep.
1908, future Baseball Hall of Fame pitcher Cy Young's career is celebrated with special day in his name in Boston. He pitches briefly for Red Sox against an All-Star team.
Nice. So today is Cy Young Day, right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
Well, he celebrated with special day in his name in Boston, so I guess this is Cy Young Day. Is there a Cy Young Day?
No.
Cy
I don't think it lived.
4th weekend in June.
Well, this is August.
Uh,
So what happened? That was just an event that maybe they eventually designated a Cy Young Day.
I don't know, but I remember reading something about a Cy Young Day a while ago, and yeah, it was June. Although Cy Young was born near Gilmore and lived most of his life near Pioli, he considered Newcomer's Town his hometown. Every year on the 4th weekend in June, they hold Cy Young Day Festival to honor the baseball guy.
There you go.
So there is a Cy Young Day.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway, one more, sir. Or two more.
1908, King Edward VII of Great Britain meets with Emperor Franz Joseph of Austria at Ischgl. The king tries to persuade the emperor to advise Germany against aggressive anti-British policies.
So this is, looks like a little bit of the build-up towards World War I as well.
Yeah, pre.
Some of the
Yeah, because it reminded me of like Franz Ferdinand. But...
Yeah, well, that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, you know, the old saying, war just doesn't drop out of the sky. There's a lot of stuff going on first.
Yeah, there's a lot of build-up. You know, like, even hockey has 2 minutes out for, you know,
for 2-minute penalty for not aggression,
for
instigation.
Instigation, okay. I thought it was instigating. I thought it was another word, though. So,
could be.
One more, sir.
Instigating, that's it.
1913, Otto Witt, German acrobat and fantasist, is purportedly crowned King of Albania.
Interesting. I think it's fantasist.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, Fantastic. Okay, that's a different word. I haven't seen that one in a
That's
while.
a unique word. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up actually. Fantastist. What?
Never heard, to tell you the truth.
Is that like a fantastic fascist or something? A person who imagines or dreams about something desired. Okay, so just like anybody. Like, doesn't everybody do that?
He has dreams, that's for sure.
Yeah. 1920, a flag designed by Marcus Garvey consisting of 3 horizontal stripes of red, black, and green was adopted as the Pan-African flag. Cool.
I guess so.
Yeah. Then 1920 as well, during the U.S. Open Men's Golf at the Inverness Golf Club, Isle of Jersey native Ted Ray parred the 18th, giving him a one-stroke win over runners-up Harry Vardon, Jock Hutchison, Leo Diego, and Jack Burke Sr. Interesting. I want that hat. That's a cool hat. What's with me and hats? I have an infatuation. And then we have a theater premiere in 1921. Simon Kaufman and Mark Connolly's comedy play Dulcie premiered in New York City. Interesting.
Back in the silent film type days.
Yeah, near the end. Like color TV was actually, what was it invented, like 1926 or something?
Yeah, it was really early.
It was really early.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, an affordable technology. So, but they invented it. So yeah.
I don't know when it was actually available to the public. I remember going over to a friend's house as a kid. He had a color TV. Wow! And only certain programs were on in color.
Who invented color TV in what year? It's not telling me. Well. We saw it earlier. Anyway, Mr. Scott.
Alrighty. 1923, Gustav Stresemann becomes premier of German coalition government.
Interesting.
Coalition government. What does that mean? Coalition.
Like, multiple different governments, like, that operate within
I get what it means. I wondered who was collated, if the Nazis were involved in that. But
not yet. Not for another 10 years.
Yeah, no, too soon.
Well, maybe it was like, like the whole thing broken up, like, because like they lost the Rhineland and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe like, the Rhineland was a coalition of them, like, they're not actually part of Germany, but, they're with them. Like, because after World War I, of course, they got split up and they had to pay huge tithes. And,
they were devastated. That whole country was a ruin, just economically and everything else. Cause they were
really gave Hitler a lot of ammo to start the second one.
Exactly right.
Yep. Let's see here.
Okay.
Ooh, what else happened in 1923?
1923, Turkish National Congress selects Mustafa Kemal Atatürk Pasha as first president of Turkey.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's right.
Man, they wore interesting clothing back then.
Yeah, that's a cool hat. I want that hat as well. But no, Turkey, because the Ottoman Empire, as well, after World War I, they collapsed. They were ordered to, disperse. So, the central area of what was the Ottoman Empire became Turkey.
Yeah. Yes.
Ooh. Here we go. Why don't you take this one?
Okay. 1932, Adolf Hitler refuses President von Hindenburg's proposal to become Vice Chancellor of Germany.
He didn't want a slice of the cake, he wanted the whole thing. And he got it.
He wanted his cake and ice cream and eat it too.
Yeah, because he rose to power just 1 year later.
Yeah.
So... But, I wonder just how different things would be. Like, supposedly little things like that. Like, if he'd become Vice Chancellor... Like, would he been able to rise to power, earlier? Or like, was the fact that he wasn't involved in the politics and stuff in the actual office, like his ability to rise to power, period, because he gathered all the, his people?
Or would it inhibited him because he's now in the mix? Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, would have it
even
there's
all
happened?
those little things. That's why we got to be so careful today. All these little weird things going on.
Yeah. Moving on up into 1940, during the Battle of Britain, Hermann Göring's Adlertag, or Eagle Day, offensive occurred. intending to destroy the Royal Air Force. 47 to 48 German aircraft were shot down. The RAF lost 25 planes. That backfired.
No kidding.
Oof. Then 1942, the Manhattan Project commences under the direction of U.S. General Leslie Groves. Its aims to deliver an atomic bomb. Here we go. So wow. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So like
I remember that.
So 3
Well,
years
here-
later, like almost. So actually, it's just under 3 years later, right? Like 1942, and then like because Nagasaki and Hiroshima happened, last week or earlier this past week.
Hey, the dates it happened, yeah, but it didn't happen last week.
No, well, it happened
Yeah,
like on the date in 1945.
Yeah.
So what I'm
Look
saying
at those
is like,
really
spectrometers.
a week or so ago.
yeah,
Okay.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
Yeah.
and they were like 2-3 days apart,
Yeah.
something like
I
that.
was gonna say they weren't on the same day. I
No.
know that.
But like, so like from the start till the actual first drop was almost 3 years on the day. Like had Hiroshima like been 1 week or so later, it would be a lot closer, if not on the day. You know what I'm saying? So that's weird. Just under 3 years, we developed
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and look at those spectrometers in that picture. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's something.
my mom actually worked on computers like that, punch card computers and things like that.
Yeah.
So
That was high tech back then.
It was. Absolutely was.
have you seen that picture where like it's like they're loading in this giant huge thing into the side of a building, and it's like 1 gigabyte then, and then they took a picture of the building in modern day and someone holding up like a floppy disk, and it's like 50 gigabytes today. So like it went from like this whole room
Yeah.
thing just for like, I mean, like there's another example, like there's an image of Super Mario, just Super
Yeah.
Mario just standing there, and the amount of like the size of the file itself, it's like 25 kg or whatever, the size
Okay. Yeah.
is bigger than the actual size of the file of the game, because modern image rendering and everything
Yeah.
requires more processing power and whatnot. So the actual image, just one still image of pixelated Super Mario just standing there, not even just all the background, just him just standing there, is more processing power than the entire game, when it came out originally.
Yeah.
Like that's incredible.
Yeah. It is. It is. And like you say, you look at these rooms and you go,
Yeah.
we have more in Mario's game. Has much more capabilities in that whole building.
Yeah, let's see if I can find this actually. Images. Gigabyte then. Oh, well. Anyway, Mr. Scott.
Okay, sorry. 1944. Allied generals Bernard Montgomery, Miles Dempsey, and Omar Bradley discuss a future breakthrough in the European theater during World War II.
Yeah.
Yep. This is,
Process to divide it up.
yep. Like, this is
Yeah, we talked about Bernard Montgomery yesterday, I think. Something different.
Yeah, Monty. Yeah, he was, he got his promotion to, like, field marshal or something
Field
before.
Marshal Monte.
Yeah. Well, he later became a general. Like he was
Yeah.
a World War II general. But like a lot of these higher ups got a lot of promotions during as the war went on.
Wasn't Monty and Patton that hit heads?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole Patton wanted to go to Berlin with tanks, and Monty wanted to do a paradrop into the Netherlands. Monty got his wish, and Operation Market Garden became one of the worst blunders in all of military history.
Really?
Total
No, I
catastrophic
didn't know
failure.
that. Really? No, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Okay, well, because they overstretched way too much.
Yeah.
They underestimated the German occupation and presence, and then they're just like they tried to really go deep into Arnhem and everything, and they did capture some bridges. Other bridges I think were blown. Other bridges were retaken by Germans. Pockets, and
Yeah.
it just was a big just waste, just a huge
Huh.
waste.
Didn't know that.
So.
So Monty strikes again. Huh?
Yeah, because Monty, he's like of the British elite and everything, and he's a general, so he's rubbing shoulders with these people. So you got to think politically, and as soon as you bring politics into war, you're gonna lose.
Bad things happen.
Patton wanted to go for the throat.
Yeah.
I'm
a soldier. I want to go in and kill him.
Yeah, do your job. It's war.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Mr. Scott? Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
1948, Satchel Paige at age 42 pitches his first major league complete game. Wow.
Nice.
Isn't that amazing? 42.
I just call this guy good old baseball kisser.
He should have been one of the all-time great pitchers had there not been a black man.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that must, because with Jackie Robinson, breaking the barrier, I was like, well, that must have been before that or something.
Maybe someday down the road, hopefully sooner rather than later, we start recognizing these people and putting them into the places they deserve. Giving him his, all-star status, put him in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
Give him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I don't know, whatever that needs to be done. We got to start recognizing these people. So.
Yeah, some of the old timers.
Yeah.
That didn't play for multi-million-dollar contracts.
Yeah. The real greats,
True.
Because if you can shine with so much stuff coming against you, then you're that much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they would have gotten heckled really bad trying to play. And
you have one more here.
So, 1950, U.S. President Harry Truman gives military aid to Vietnamese regime of Bao Dai.
That was the Emperor of Vietnam. So, that was before Vietnam split into North and South.
Well, the French must have still been there, right?
Well, yeah. Well, remember, the French as a nation fell during World War II.
Right.
So, if your owning nation doesn't exist, why is it still your owning nation?
Yeah. True.
So that's why they started really, fighting tooth and nail for independence, because France fell, and
they saw opportunity.
Yeah, and then France eventually came back and everything, but the barrel was already rolling down the hill. So. Yep, and the rest, as it said, is history. 1953, U.S. President Dwight Eisenhower established Government Contract Compliance Committee.
That doesn't sound good.
No. Government Contract Compliance Committee. Let me look that up here. The Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs, OFCCP, is an agency in the United States Department of Labor responsible for ensuring that employers conducting business with the federal government comply with 3 equal employment opportunity laws. Okay. So it sounds good, but, it's more bureaucracy. So, yeah. 1956, Elvis Presley released the music single "Don't Be Cruel." Which, by the way, do you know that "Nothing But a Hound Dog" is not his original song? It's a cover.
What do you mean? Oh, what do you mean a cover?
Like
I think it came out of blues.
Yeah, but somebody else wrote that song, and then he sang it. It was a cover.
It was I don't know what you mean by a cover, but it was a black artist, so he recorded and everything. He was a black blues artist. I can't tell you.
Cover means if you see somebody singing a song that they're a fan of, say online, or it's just like somebody doing a cover of the actual song. Like if it's another band,
just
somebody
someone else's song. Absolutely right.
Yeah, that's what a cover is.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
The cover is singing somebody else's work.
Yeah. Okay.
So, "Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog" is not his original song. He sang it, yes, but somebody else invented it.
Yeah.
People don't realize that.
I wonder if people remember how he got drafted or something, right?
Yeah,
of course I do.
He got drafted, and
I don't have to remember. I was there.
Yeah.
At least as alive, I knew about it.
He lived it. So.
Yep.
What happened in '62?
1962, Bert Campaneris of Daytona Beach pitches ambidextrously, which means both arms.
Both hands.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah, not too many of those.
No.
Yeah.
No, there sure aren't. In fact, I didn't know there was anybody.
What happened 1 year later?
Oh, this is good. 1963, Dave DeBusschere pitches a shutout against the Cleveland Indians. Really? Because he played on the Knicks. He's
Yes,
known
he
for
did.
playing basketball.
Dave
He's
DeBusschere,
known
yeah.
for basketball.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know he played baseball. Didn't know he was a two-sports
Yeah.
guy. I got to see him at the sports arena when he played for Ohio State.
Really?
A meme just went through my head. You both start talking baseball, and then I just started thinking about that scene from Star Wars. This is getting out of hand. Now there's two of them.
You just see baseball.
Dave DeBusschere is part of like the only Knicks championship in the 70s. They have not won since then.
That's right.
Huh.
You're absolutely right.
I guess he pushes them out.
Nor should they ever win again, as far as I'm concerned.
You have one more here.
Okay, 1963, Warren Spahn sets left-hander strikeout mark at 2,382.
Damn.
Yeah, he's another great one.
Left-handed pitcher?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. 1967, Bonnie and Clyde crime film directed by Arthur Penn and starring Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway was released. All right.
Good movie.
1969, Baltimore Oriole Jim Palmer no-hit Oakland A's 8-0. Wow. Dang.
Oriole.
Yeah,
It's actually the Oriole.
Oriole.
Yeah, Jim Palmer, yeah, he was around for a while.
Sure was.
I might have an Arnold Palmer after this. Also in 1969, temp Commissioner Bowie Kuhn elected for a 7-year term by unanimous vote. Kuhn. Bowie Kuhn. Alright. I believe that was my three.
Next.
Mr. Scott?
Okay, 1971, Paul and Linda McCartney released single, Backseat of My Car.
Wow. I wonder what they did there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I just thought that. That's funny, yeah.
Well, a lot of songs are about, romance, love, and, nowadays, sex and WAP and all that crap, it's just it's getting moist up in here,
Oh, God.
I have another one here.
1975, batsman Viv Richards out of 291 v England for the West Indies at the Cricket Oval, London.
Cricket.
Were we talking about, actually I think it was Sohan and I yesterday, the Oval, it sounds like, a horrible place to go. Like, you got taken to the Oval. Like, oh God. What is the Oval? It sounds ominous.
Like, this is cricket. Now the lines are coming.
Yeah. Why don't you take this next one?
That's what it made me think of. What is that old thing where, like, you're put in the middle and the lines come after you?
I guess. I don't know what it means, the lines, like...
It was a cartoon, but it was based on something real. Like, they put them in the, a Coliseum-like thing. And then they release the tigers or the lions, and then he has to survive.
I thought you were saying the lines,
I did too.
like a line on the
Straight
paper.
line, crooked line.
So I'm just like imagining
Yeah.
like all the markings on the football field suddenly moving towards you like a nightmare, and I'm just like, what the hell are you on? Lions. Okay, I understand. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, yeah. Okay. 1989, PGA Championship Men's Golf, Kemper Lakes Golf Club, Payne Stewart wins first of 3 major titles by one from Andy Bean, Mike Reed, and Curtis Strange.
Huh. That's kind of strange.
Oh, boo.
I wonder if he was a doctor.
He's probably a good steward, though.
Yeah, well, that guy is definitely, 1993, Blue Jay Ricky Henderson paid Turner Ward $25,000 for his number 24 jersey. Huh.
That's an interesting quote for Ricky Henderson.
San Diego one time. Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, he also played for the A's. Like he played
That's
for
right.
quite
It's the
a
A's
while.
I'm thinking about, not San Diego. It's the A's.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that famous thing of him getting the stolen base and like
Yeah.
putting the base over his head. That was a famous thing
Yep.
for Ricky Henderson.
Yep.
Okay. So he paid for his own jersey? Or wait, I'm confused. He bought somebody else's.
I'm pretty sure that player had his number 24 and he paid him to wear that number.
Okay, so he bought the number. Okay.
Yeah, just to be able to wear it. Like, 'cause someone else was probably wearing that number.
Okay, that's interesting. Canadian Open Women's Golf at Du Maurier Classic in the year 2000. Royal Ottawa Golf Club, Meg Mallon won by 1 from Rosie Jones. Alright. Then 2008, U.S. super swimmer Michael Phelps. God, they just like pet this guy so hard. He won 3 gold medals, all in world record time in the one day at the Beijing Olympics. 200 meter I/M. 1 minute 54.23 seconds. 200 meter butterfly at 1 minute 52.03 seconds. And a 4x200 meter freestyle relay at 6 minutes 58.56 seconds.
Well, it was amazing because not only was he winning all his gold, but he was breaking all these world records in all these different swim meets.
Well, yeah.
It was incredible.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not
so dominant, it was unreal.
I'm not saying, like, he didn't. I'm saying, like, with the amount of hate they gave to poor, Lance Armstrong, like, they just, like, no, dude, like, during the weeks when you weren't on the show every day, there was, like, another one. They put this guy through the hamburger machine so hard. It was just like, get off of him, like, leave him alone. It's like, no winner. Yeah, because everybody's doping. Why are you focusing on him? Leave Lance alone, God damn. And then they're like, oh, super swimmer, God amongst men, Michael Phelps. We should all praise and worship the water he touches.
You're going off on him, I can tell.
Because, but no, like he got caught, smoking weed and stuff. But like, like why, if you're gonna go after people as hard as Lance Armstrong, stop glorifying this guy. Like, yeah, he did great things, but so did Lance.
Yeah, well, Lance
Lance is a big liar. Who cares?
Lance
lied. Smoke some weed. Who cares?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Scott. What do you say?
The only thing about Lance is that he kept lying about what was going on. So that was, I think, why.
For years, he absolutely was adamant about it.
But wasn't he like raising a lot of money for charity and everything? So it was like, for the greater good, I guess.
Yeah, the Live Strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's.
Well, that was his own charity, right? So that's a little fishy. Maybe he was a scumbag. I don't know.
No, okay. You start your own charity doesn't mean it's a scummy deal.
Well, look at Bill Gates.
Well,
the Bill
it can be good or bad. I'm not saying they're.
Yeah. Anyway, why don't you tell us what happened in 2011?
Okay, 2011 Farm Aid 25th anniversary held in Kansas City, Kansas. Performers include Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp, Neil Young, Dave Matthews, Jason Mraz, Jamie Johnson, Jacob Dylan, and Billy Joe Shaver.
That's a lineup right there.
Yeah, like a Hall of Fame lineup, definitely.
Too bad one of them turned out to be a male Karen. Remember when Neil Young was like, take Joe Rogan off of Spotify, otherwise I'm not going to, patron your business.
No, I'm not going to allow you to play my music.
Yeah, and then they looked at Joe Rogan as like, this juggernaut, and Neil Young is like, who cares? So that came back to bite him right, square in the buttocks, Anyway.
2013, Crash My Party, 4th studio album by Luke Bryan is released. Billboard Album of the Year of 2014.
Nice. Crash My Party, though, like, that's an interesting invite. When and where's the party? Like, ooh, you get a good one here.
Alright. 2015, Swedish prosecutors announced they are dropping allegations against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange of sexual molestation and coercion.
Dang.
Lucky him.
Yeah. They're trying to get people for literally anything. Once you're on the target, they're going to come after you. And this is the guy who's still in Russia, right? No. Julian Assange got taken.
He's either in Russia or England. I'm not sure which.
No. Assange got taken, Edward Snowden is in Russia.
Okay.
So, why don't you take this other 2015?
Okay. 2015, U.S. government formally returns to France Picasso's painting La Couffe. I can't really read that, sorry, but stolen from Paris's National Museum of Modern Art in 2001.
Dang.
Wow.
Wow.
Coiffeuse. I guess it's La Coiffeuse.
Yeah, like Coiffeuse, something like that. Neither of us speak French. 2 years later, 2017, Grace Mugabe, wife of the president of Zimbabwe, was accused of assault in Johannesburg, South Africa. Ugh. That's the face of a concerned husband. Like, what's my wife doing? Why is she assaulting people? And that's it for the main body. Actually, I'm going to read this. I'm going to read both of these. 2020, Israel strikes a historic deal with the UAE to normalize relations. Israel suspends plans to annex part of the occupied West Bank. Good.
Yeah.
You gotta stop annexing places. And also 2020, new details about enormous terror crocodile, Dinosuchus, the size of a bus with teeth as big as bananas, that lived during late Cretaceous period, 75 to 84 million years ago in North America, was published. So yeah,
That sounds like the megalodon of crocodile.
Yeah.
Yes. Or like the Titanoboa, which is like the megalodon of anacondas.
Yeah.
Titanoboa had a width of 3 feet.
Really?
Yeah, it was big. Anyway, were there any articles that grabbed your attention, more than most? Anybody?
Well, for me, the little ones, Churchill thing, ends up with a whole line of dukes behind him. He is in that upper crust class. You just think of working folks coming up and doing it. Not necessarily the case. But it was just interesting to me.
Yeah. This guy being, condemned to death and all that stuff, that was kind of rough.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it just some of the sports ones stuck out for me. Like Dave DeBuscher pitches the shutout. I never knew he played baseball, so
I didn't either.
So that was that for me anyway. And then we talked about Elvis a little bit.
Elvis was a blonde and he dyed his hair black to bring his features. He thought it'd bring his features out better.
Huh.
Never knew that.
Well, it does darken the hair and focus the face a bit more.
Yeah.
But there's this other one, this guy discovering Mars' southern polar cap. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. That one I really
1642.
liked.
Yeah. That was incredible. So I'm going to do the split here. Welcome to part 2, and let's move on into bursts. Mr. Scott, why don't you start us off with the first 2?
Okay. 1422, William Caxton, English printer and translator, first to print in the English language Histories of Troy, born in Kent, England, and he died in 1492. Birth date disputed.
So it might not be today. But at least enough people recognize it as today for it to be put on here, so that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Hey.
Ooh.
We know who that
1860.
is.
Much time later, 1860. Annie Oakley, otherwise known as Phoebe Ann Moses, American sharpshooter, the Buffalo Bills Wild West, born in North Star, Ohio, and died in 1926. Very famous.
Hi-yo. Yep.
That's a cool picture. I like that picture.
Yeah. Yeah, what is that? Are those all medals or something? What is that?
Can't make it out.
I can't tell. Yeah, those are medals.
It is medals.
Wow. Well, okay. Moving on up into 1888, John Logie Baird was born. He was a Scottish inventor and father of the television, born in Helensburgh, Scotland, dying in 1946. Well, thank you.
No kidding.
Mr. BoobTube.
Baird, huh?
Yeah.
John Baird.
John Baird.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Then we have Alfred Hitchcock.
Hey.
Born on this date in 1899. He was a British film director. Psycho, The Birds, Rear Window, Vertigo. Just to name a few. Born in Leytonstone, Essex, now part of London, England. Died in 1980. Oh, you get a good one here.
All right. 1912, Ben Hogan, American golfer, 9-time major title winner, U.S. Masters in 1951 and 1953, born in Stevensville, Texas. He died in 1997.
Okay. Wonder if he has any relation to Hulk Hogan, Oh.
Probably not. But you never know.
Well, you get a really important one here.
Oh yeah. 1926, Fidel Castro, Cuban revolutionary, and Prime Minister from 1959 to 1976 and President from 1976 to 2008, born in Biran, Holdwin Province. Died in 2016.
Yeah, I remember that. This is the guy who survived like hundreds of assassination attempts from the CIA and whatnot, like from super advanced things to like they literally like they figured out he liked chocolate, so like, and they figured out like like what his favorite chocolate was, where it was manufactured. They somehow like poisoned the specific batch that was going to go to him or something. I don't know how they figured it all out. And then at some point, like he just didn't eat the chocolate. He threw it away or something. There's another one where literally a stick of TNT in one of his cigars.
Oh, jeez.
Like Bugs Bunny crab.
Yeah.
Like they did stuff. Everything in the book. I mean, like, and keep in mind this was during the time where during the Cold War and all the stuff against Russia and everything. They're trying literally everything. They actually did a test seeing if you burned a photograph of a missile silo, would that destroy the missile silo? Like, yeah, they tested literally everything, no matter how absurd, because you never know. Like, so that's where your tax dollars went during the 50s, 60s, 70s, while still happening today. So
on steroids.
Yeah. Yeah, now we have and it's not 86, it's 87,000 new agents for the which one? Federal
Federal Bureau of Investigation.
The FBI? No, I thought it was the
FBI. No, it's not the FBI.
No.
It's the Internal Revenue Service.
The IRS. Yeah. Yeah, it was. I knew it was one of those three-letter things. I just couldn't figure out which one. The IRS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what one of their requirements are? You have to be prepared to carry an arm and use deadly force. Now, why is that a requirement for an IRS guy?
Yeah, and that makes them bigger than the entire U.S. Marine Corps, right?
Yep.
Like, why? Why are we militarizing our finances? What the hell is going on? This is nuts. So, anyway, we have Janet Yellen in 1946, was a U.S. economist, chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve, 2014 through 18. Speaking of the IRS,
Yeah.
Born in Brooklyn, New York. She's still alive.
Oh, she's not alive. She's what do you call it? Head of the Federal Reserve.
No, not.
Yes, today. Yes, she is.
2014 through 18.
What are you talking about?
Chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve. She's the current head?
Yeah, she's back.
Oh, great. And then we have Betsy King, 1955, is a U.S. golfer, 6-time major winner, U.S. Open 1989 through 90, born in Reading, Pennsylvania. Well, I just did read Pennsylvania, and I'm currently reading Pennsylvania. I'm doing it over and over and over. So, your turn, Sir Scotty Boy.
Alrighty. 1963, Shridevi Kapoor, or known as Sri Amayangar Ayyappan, Indian actress and film producer referred to as Indian cinema's first female superstar of Himatwala Solvasawan and Solvasawan, born in Sivakasi, Madras State, and died in 2018.
Aww.
She wasn't that old.
No.
Not really.
So let's see here. She was 54.
I got that in my rear view mirror, that's for sure.
And that's the end of Burst. So moving on into Deaths, starting us
That
off.
was quick.
Yeah, starting us off in the year 1900, we lost Collis P. Huntington. He was a U.S. business tycoon and railroad executive for the Central Pacific Railroad and Southern Pacific Railroad. Died at the age of 78. Well, this guy was a big guy.
So is that where Huntington Beach was named after, and Huntington Park, and that city, and everything else? Is the same guy? I'm sure it is.
Huntington Beach City, named after who? Henry Huntington. This is Collis Huntington.
Okay.
Henry Huntington Beach incorporated in 1909 under its first mayor, Ed Manning. Its original developer was the Huntington Beach Company, a real estate development firm owned by Henry Huntington, a railroad magnate after whom the city was named. So 1909,
There's got to be some connection with the railroad magnate.
Yeah, Collis P. Huntington. Let's see here. So we know Henry Huntington, so let's keep that in mind. Collis P. Huntington. Let's see here. Known for first transcontinental railroad. Okay, well that's pretty big. Let's see here. Huntington siblings. Collis Potter Huntington. Oh wait. Let's see here. I'll just go to his wiki. Well, it's not telling me much about his family, so
Let's move on, doesn't
yeah,
matter.
I'll just post this in the underbar for anybody who is as interested as I apparently am. I want to keep digging, but we have a show to do. So, Mr. Scott.
In 1910, Florence Nightingale, British pioneering nurse in the Crimean War, dies at 90. That's a famous name.
That's a household name, Florence
Yeah.
Nightingale.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, rest in peace.
Lived for a while, born in 1910, definitely.
Sure did. 70 years.
Yeah. No, she died at the age of 90. This is her
80
death
years.
date.
80 years.
Yeah, no, this is her death date, 1910.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, so she was born in 1820, May 12th,
Gotcha. Okay.
in Florence, Tuscany, Italy.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
Right.
she died peacefully in her
Yeah.
sleep, good, at the age of 90 on this date, 1910.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else died?
Not to say, but I don't know, it's like, yeah, you wouldn't know how long some of them live, but you'd probably want someone who's going to live a long life to be a nurse. They might know what they're doing.
Yeah. You know,
If you know what I mean, just someone just knows how to take care of themselves, is what I mean.
yeah, well, that's what makes us different than any other animal. Is what we teach our young. Like, it's beyond just surviving. It's what we've learned during our life, passed down knowledge and information. You know, and
Definitely.
like, and then we expand from there. You know, like writing and everything. Like, it used to be like, you know, the oral record. Then it turned into, like, you know, hieroglyphics and everything, and evolved into writing. And now we have, you know, all this stuff that's, you know, being backed up constantly. The internet, you know, information is just, you know, immeasurable. So
Well, that's
Absolutely.
why the Indians would go to the elders and let them speak, because they had all that knowledge.
yep,
They know time.
yep. Who else died on this date?
1912,
Yep.
we got Jules Massenet, French opera composer of Werther and Manon, dies of abdominal cancer at 70.
Well, that sucks. We lost H.G. Wells on this date in 1946. Oh man. English sci-fi author, The War of the Worlds and Time Machine, died at 79. That's a big name, H.G. Wells.
Yeah.
And we also lost W.O. Bentley in 1971. He was an English engineer and motoring pioneer who founded Bentley Motors Limited, died at 82.
Yeah.
Bentley. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like of course, an expensive car brand, you know.
Not kidding.
Oh man, here we go again with you guys and your baseball.
Mickey Mantle. Nice.
Not nice, he died, but like, yeah.
Am I reading this?
Yeah.
Yes, your turn.
Okay. 1995, Mickey Mantle, American Baseball Hall of Fame outfielder, 1956 Triple Crown winner, 20-time All-Star, that's insane, wow. 7-time World Series winner and 3-time American League MVP in New York Yankees. Dies of liver cancer at 63.
Dang. Well, he had
So
a full
he's kind
life.
of he's got a famous thing for hitting a ball off the facade at Yankee Stadium.
Sure.
Yeah, he was very, very famous back then.
Still a big name today.
Oh yeah. If you look at it, look like Mickey Mantle. In his name it says Key Man. So they kind of like, I remember they put that up. Yeah, they were saying that. I remember reading that. I was like, huh, how about that?
That is interesting. Key-Man. Kind of like how Neil Armstrong, or Neil A, backwards spells alien.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. First man on the moon. Coincidence? That's a little strange, you know?
I agree. Okay, we going on?
Yep.
Okay.
You have another one here.
2005, David Lang, 32nd Prime Minister of New Zealand, Labour, 1984 to 1989, dies of complications associated with renal failure and diabetes at 63.
Dang.
Another 63.
What is renal failure? That sounds awful. Oh, kidney failure. Okay. Well, that would explain it. You know, diabetes and kidneys. You know, that's kind of hand in hand right there. 2007, we lost Phil Rizzuto. Was a U.S. Baseball Hall of Fame shortstop, 5-time MLB All-Star, 7-time World Series AL MVP in 1950 for the New York Yankees. He was also a broadcaster for WCBS Radio and WPIX TV. Died at the age of 89.
And he is famous for the phrase, "Holy cow!"
You're right.
Yep.
Very good.
See, I know how to pick, good people to co-host.
There you go, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that is the conclusion of today's show. Once again, check the underbar in the description for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to everything involving Omni Coalition. Go check out our other things, Twitch, all that stuff. I'm trying to get them back into streaming and everything. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific time, which is apparently 8 in the morning Hawaiian, 11 Mountain, 12 Central, and of course, Scott?
Yeah?
What time is it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry?
What time is the show on your time zone?
Oh, it's 1 p.m. Eastern time.
There we go. For your Dose of Past Events Daily, I am A.O. Xander.
Meet Cleaver.
I'm Scott.
Yep, and you, of course, viewer, are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles. Let's go, Brandon.